Hi there, celebrating 25 years of media excellence. Welcome to JoyNews Interactive. I am Najili Doku here with my colleague Maps, and we have an educative show just for you. Join the conversation via WhatsApp line on 0540-109009. The show is also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. Join us on our social media handles across all platforms, and it's at JoyNews on TV. Now let's look at our case counts. I'm talking about our COVID-19 case counts as of now, and our case count is 7,117, and our original breakdown is as follows. So Greater Accra region is at 5,008. Ashanti region is at 1,085. Western region follows with 344. Now, Central region stands at 37, I beg your pardon. Now, as you can see, the map there tells us Eastern region is also at 108. Western region is at 62. Volta region is at 59. Northern region is at 36. OT region is 26. Upper East region is 26. Upper West region is 22. Northeastern region is at 2. Savannah region is at 1. Bono region we have 1, and Ahafo region and Bono East region both have 0. Now my colleague Maps is joining me. Hi Maps, good morning. How are you doing? Hello Maps. Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
I know. How you dealing with it? How are you dealing with the whole lockdown and everything?
I'm not dealing with it at all. It's been really hard, if I'm being honest. It's been extremely hard. But I mean, yeah, there's nothing I can do about it, but you know, just keep on pushing.
I know.
I try to keep busy and keep my mind busy.
Good. Like, so when you keep him busy, what keeps the edge off? What takes your mind off this whole pandemic and the fact that you can't move like as usually like you used to?
So I've been trying to meditate a lot and just, you know, silence everything. I've been trying to read, sometimes do a little bit of exercise, you know, walk around.
Good.
And yeah, that's about it. And I try to limit my coronavirus news intake so that I don't feel so anxious and it doesn't get to me. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Now, you know, the new norm will be mostly working from home, and you've been doing that for majority of the time. How are you dealing with that? Because sometimes when I'm working from home, it's really difficult for me. You get it? Because I look at my office is not too far from my bedroom, so I look at the bed a bit and I want to wander off and go there. How do you manage? Because dealing with it is not easy.
You know, it's about discipline, self-discipline, really. You know, okay, you know, I need to work. And you know, if your boss is tough on you, tell her you have to deliver.
Just like effort.
You have to focus.
I know.
So yeah, that's really about it. I just, you know, discipline and focus and try to do the best I can with what I have. Yeah, because I really can't go out and get the stories. So I have to, you know, try and maneuver around social media, Google, YouTube, and trying to gather information and stories from there. So it's been quite hectic, but it's exciting. Good,
wonderful. Now, you realize that our case count is now at 7,117. Honestly, let me be very honest with you. I didn't think we're going to get this far. Probably maybe I'm still stuck in my dream world, hoping that our numbers will, but the recovery rate is just amazing for me. I'm excited about the recovery. That is my positive to go to place. What do you think?
I think compared to South Africa, you guys are fairly a good number, because I mean, we are in our 25,000s. So I mean, 7,000, 20-something thousand, it's fairly good. Recovery is great. That's what we want to hear. Want to hear about more recoveries, and that's what we're hoping for, more recoveries and less cases.
Yeah, wonderful. And then I'm hoping that the recoveries just shoot up as they go. It's unfortunate, but what we want to remind people is of the fact that the people that are passing on, that within the numbers, the death rates, is due to people with, how do I say, they have underlying conditions. Yes. So we just need to keep taking good care of ourselves, wearing our face masks right now is the norm, and keep washing your hands with soap and running water, keep sanitizing. That's the most important thing. But apart from that, do you get to even step outside a bit? Hello?
The last time I stepped out a month ago. Yeah, a month ago. So no, I don't step out. I don't step out at all. I think a month and a few weeks ago, that was the last time I stepped out. And that was because I was really getting to me. But now, you know what? I'm just trying to not risk my life, and I'm just staying indoors. We've got everything that we need in the house.
Definitely.
And if we don't, we try to, you know, at least get a long list before we can go out.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. I haven't stepped out in like a month. So, and I mean, you can see it even with my skin.
Yeah, you look good.
I'm glowing. You know, glowing.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm glowing because I've been in that house.
You're doing fantastic. I like the fact that you're glowing so much. Your skin is looking good. You need to give me that therapy anyway. Now, let's talk a little bit about e-learning. Now, we know that the kids are home because of due to the pandemic. There's closure of schools. Now, they've been doing the e-learning for a while now. My kids have started, and it's pretty difficult because, you know, you have to come to work. Sometimes in the evenings, you have to take them through it. Now, we're going to be joined by Awo. Adima Amenya. She's the head of, she's actually the head, IDAM, yes, of Child Online Africa, and she'll want to talk about keeping an eye and making sure the kids don't stray away when they're doing the e-learning. And Awo is joining us now. Good morning, Awo.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you too?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, Awo, thanks for joining us. Awo Aidama Menya, she has a Child Online Africa, and she's joined us before. We talked about safety online when it was Internet Safety Week. Now, let's talk about children and they doing e-learning, because that is the norm right now. Now, can we talk about safety when it comes to that? Because sometimes you tend to move away, you know, leave them a bit, and before you know it, they might have gone to certain apps they're not supposed to. How do you deal with that?
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
From where I sit, there's no way you're going to make your life better if you don't get these children to understand basic principles of what they do or what they cannot do online. And for me, I start saying that there ought to be the standard set by us as parents. So now that they are supposed to have their lessons and then go off for break and come back and all of that, I think building the character of the child this moment is very, very crucial.
Yes.
So then they know when to connect and when not to connect. So I work with the the acronym I call TEAMS. So TEAMS simply stands for talking with the child, getting them to understand this is the internet and this is what you can do with it. This is how far it could take you. The E is for educational engagement. Sometimes they love to play particular games, and it's important you engage with them. Just know what they are doing, what actually is, it's freaking them out from. And by so doing, you are also able to disable or activate some functions that will be the safety functions in the chat rooms that with or not. Then the third one is agreement. It's important we set the rules. They can't be online all day. It's dangerous for their health, it's dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for your pocket. So then how do we blend the time? There ought to be that opportunity where they do other activities outside just the lesson, and what is going on is more of a blended learning situation. So cool it. Some of the lessons come to your WhatsApp and you need to transmit it to them for them to work with and all of that. It's a bit crazy. But the agreement ought to be, by and large, when you measure closely, they spend about 3 hours doing their schoolwork and in its entirety for a day. So, which is fine. Let them do the other things. The fourth thing is how to manage your settings as a family. It's important they understand that, okay, there are passwords on certain things. Mommy or daddy plays the passwords for a reason. So how do we make sure that we are observing the standards of the family? Then they know. So that's the M. And the last one, which is the S, gives you the security or the safety bit. Because by the time you are done talking, engaging, agreeing with them, managing with them, which they are observing, and you get to the S, they will be used to it. It becomes a lifestyle for them as young people that you are raising. So by and large, you have an internet safety lifestyle or internet safety culture built in the home for yourself and for the children. If you are not there, they still observe it because they are used to it. There are times they will go against the protocols, but that is not for you to panic. It's okay. You bring them back on course and then you reactivate action.
Okay, so
that's what I think.
So what about the parents that don't get time during the day, but at night? That's when they get to sit down and do this kind of virtual learning or e-learning with their children. How do they manage it? Because you know, you have a long day, you come home to deal with the kids, and how do you do with that without allowing your stress to get to it? Because you know, children can be a tad bit difficult to manage.
Yeah, you know, children can be difficult to manage.
Definitely.
When you allow them to be.
Yeah.
Because the rule is that, okay, there's this agreement already that we're going to have online learning or we're going to study at this time. And the fact that they are enjoying the lesson, if I take they love learning, prefer to the actual classroom. So one is not ready to go back to school. So the fact that they enjoy it, you make sure that you incentivize. So they know that if we go against the rule, mommy will not allow us play this game for 30 minutes before we sleep. And it will give you some level of sanity. But then believe me, parents as we are, sometimes situations can take us off board. That is not to say that you start blaming yourself, oh, I failed my children, or I've yelled at them and all of that. It's a normal thing. We are all trying and helping ourselves to cope with the situation. So it is fine. You can help them in the evening with the work. But then what I would want to know is what are they doing in the day whilst you are away? We should be able to keep an eye on them at that time too, because some of them, their friends may come over and then they introduce them to things, and that is also an avenue for them to be taken away. So how then are we taking care of them? And possible, can we start engaging with our employers to make telework part of the system? If you have children of that age who cannot be by themselves, you are allowed to telework. And then you, the parent, you also have to make the extra effort to be sure that you are delivering on your mandate. Other than that, your employer may call off your telework opportunity.
Definitely.
So we need to be talking at this time because this is the reality that has confronted us. We can wish it away. We are trying to manage it. So many ways we could manage, but it will be unique to each situation, and that is the way to go.
Okay, sure. We're joined actually by my colleague Maps and Spiky. He's one of our heads at tech here. Now, Spiky, this is where creating passwords come in. Now, as a parent, you know, sometimes we don't have time to come up with complicated passwords. So we come up with easy ones. Is this when we have to look for those difficult ones? Because children are very intelligent, trust me, on that one. So what kind of passwords can you create to block them from going to these other apps that they're not supposed to be going to?
Well, passwords, people worry because of forgetting them. That's a huge challenge with passwords. And if you're worried about forgetting a password, get a password manager. So that generates complicated passwords, and you only have to remember one password for that system.
Ooh, wow. And that solves everything. Now, what are some of these maps? Would you have to say, do you have anything you want to ask?
Okay, So now how do I, assure that my password manager is safe? Because if someone gets to my password manager, that means they've gotten access to all of my other passwords.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which is why you treat your password manager like you're sitting on a sheet of paper that is sitting on your desk, or you don't use something that's obvious. Someone could easily connect to you. I always tell people my password is the most confusing thing. It's like a sentence mixed, and capital letters here, capital letters there, small letters, symbols, numbers. You just mix all the characters and make it as, excuse me to say, as nonsense as possible, so someone could not predict it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you get a password manager? Do you download? Is it an app that you download?
Yeah, there are apps. So you have LastPass, OnePass. There's so many of them.
Okay.
That you can download.
Okay, sure. That would help manage the situation.
Can I be of help? Can I be of help then?
Okay, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, so we launched a how-to guide last week, which has information on the potential safe password managers that you could download and how to download them as parent on your device. So the how-to guide is on our website, the resource page, which can even help you activate some of the settings on your devices, both your iPhones and then your Android devices as well. So that may come in handy here for your password management. As well, some parents could even create a passphrase if you know the password manager will be too complicated for you to go by. So you create a passphrase. Awo loves eating banku with okra soup. You pick a letter from each of that sentence, put it together, and that's up your passphrase. So each time you remember that sentence, that is your password. So it helps you with the safety and then the memory of it.
Yeah.
Now, Maps, since you're here, let's talk about working from home. You know that Twitter and some of the other major multinational companies, tech companies, are going to allow their workers, to work from home for as long as this pandemic hangs out. Now that we're here, now let's talk about that. You've been working from home. Now let's share that. Let's talk about, this is the new norm. Let's talk about that.
You see, the thing is that I feel like on our side, it's quite difficult to work from home because you need to get the stories from the ground, right? And if I'm home, like I'm 1,000 kilometers away from Ghana, I can't get my stories from home. And also there are restrictions where I am. I can't be talking to people and getting stories from the actual people. I'd have to maybe use WhatsApp because only a circle I'll get my stories from. So I think as a journalist, it's quite difficult. The working from home are difficult. So where do I get my stories from? I can't go out. I can't go to the market. I can't go to wherever I get my stories. Difficult. For the tech companies, I'd like to think it's better because everything is on my laptop or on my computer, if I'm not mistaken. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to work at home. But if I have to interact with people, it's difficult. So I don't know. Working from home.
Spiky, could you tell us?
Journalists, present and to talk to people, interact with people is going to be.
Now, Spiky, working from home. Now, we talked about this because if Google and Twitter are asking some of their workers to work from home for forever, that means anywhere in the world that you are in, whether you're in Africa, you're in Asia, wherever, Europe, wherever, you get the opportunity to work with these multinational companies. Isn't that true?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And you should be watching, I might leave you soon and go work for Twitter because if they're giving the opportunity for people to work from home, you can work from anywhere in the world. Think about it. A Ghanaian could apply for a job and they could easily work for Twitter or Facebook or Google because it's been tried and tested now. They've been seen to work. So that brings us more opportunities to work for multinational companies. I think this has been going on for a while. Some people have been doing this. But the question is, do people have the discipline? That's what you need to have, the discipline to work from home. Because waking up in the morning and not having to go to work, it takes some getting used to and some telling yourself that, hey, I need to start working right now. It's 8 o'clock. If I was going to an office, this is when I start working.
Now, this opportunity that it gives you, what would they be looking out for in young people? Would they be looking out for journalists like myself and MAPS? Or would they be looking out for people like Awo as well to join them from different parts of the world with the different kind of skills they all have?
Well, yeah, it depends on what department they're looking to recruit for. Obviously, if they're looking for developers, they'd go for people who are developers. If they're looking for people to do public relations and stuff for them, then they go for those who do public relations stuff. And if they're looking for marketers. So it depends on exactly what they're looking for. And if the job allows you to work from home, like Mav said, being a journalist and working from home is near impossible. Are you going to like build a robot that goes out there and does your interviews for you? Or you're going to send a drone to go and talk to the market woman? The market woman will probably swat the drone from the sky.
I know.
So you still have to go out there and then get some jobs. Some jobs require you to still get out there and get it done. But for those that don't require them to get out, where you probably just have to sit behind the screen all day, policy documents, stuff like that, all those kinds of things where you just have to sit behind the keyboard and type, you can work from home. And besides that, I don't think it's for everyone.
Okay, so we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll do more on JoyNews Interactive.